I think it's in Mourning and Melancholia that Freud said something about melancholics having a unique perspective on civilization, but at what cost, and that's sort of my experience too, that the unhappier parts of my career enabled me to say the more trenchant things, perhaps, but I'm not satisfied with the sort of psychic economics of that, because if I'm not happy enough to finish the book or too miserable to be able to want to do my job, it doesn't matter what truths I'm capable of scaring up in my brain at that time. I don't know why it is exactly that creativity and depression go hand in hand, but I'm sort of happy that they do, insofar as that there has to be someone who's able to stand enough outside of civilization to comment on it. Maybe it's just a kind of exile. When Joyce says silence, exile, and cunning are the ways to become a great artist in Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, I take the exile part to heart. You need to be able to sit outside a little bit to look clearly at what's happening. But that also presupposes that you're not in society and thus not part of its happy throngs. I was talking to Mary Gateskill about this, the novelist Mary Gateskill, and we were particularly discussing the suppression of libido in contemporary antidepressant medication. And her theory was that you had to be sad a little bit in order to have great sex. So the two go hand in hand. As you suppress the sadness, you also suppress the sexual impulse in some way. And you sort of go contentedly along in life, incapable of the most passionate moments, And it's possible that something similar happens to art. If you sort of have everybody operating at this contented mean, you don't enable the sorts of outrage or the kinds of passionate enthusiasm that make important art happen. I mean, I suspect, I've never been on Prozac or any of those kinds of medications, but I suspect that people who are still enjoy great art and are perfectly capable of liking a great novel no matter how challenging it is, and they would say that that their medication is not interruptive of that experience. But then how does it work for the people who make it? David Wallace is perhaps an example. I think his depression enabled him to be the great artist that he was. It also was perhaps the thing that killed him, But it's also true that he was unable to finish a novel after Infinite Jest, and he was on medication for a while. So who knows? Maybe there's some connection there.